Vasseur announces that more updates on the Ferrari SF25 will arrive, and after Leclerc's podium, that has brought confidence back to the team, and also in the technical project of Ferrari, more updates will finally arrive that should improve the performance of the red car. And in today's video, we go to see what Vasseur's statements were, as well as those of Leclerc and Hamilton. We need to see what the atmosphere is like at Ferrari, and what the strengths of the red car are after Jeddah, because the situation has changed compared to a few races ago. Before we start, of course, I remind you to leave a like, subscribe, and activate notifications so you don't miss any videos, so you always stay updated on all the Formula 1 news and specifically Ferrari-themed news. With that said, let's get started. Leclerc hugs his mechanics after the Jeddah podium, and it's a powerful image that tells more than many words. It's difficult to determine if the Monegasque driver is superior to Verstappen. They are two exceptional talents of the same generation, but with profoundly different paths. Max has won 4 world championships, Charles none, but the numbers alone don't tell the whole story. To win in Formula 1, you certainly need talent, but also a top-notch car and a team that works like a clock. Verstappen won a title in 2024 that seemed impossible. Red Bull started strong but lost momentum from Miami onwards, surpassed by the impressive McLaren MCL38. Despite the technical crisis of his team, Max never gave up. He squeezed the most out of every weekend, even winning in Brazil after starting 17th. And there are 3 factors that helped him. The first, a team that knew how to react and adapt intelligently. The second, the strategic mistakes of McLaren, which often threw away precious points and relied too much on plates. And third, the competitive comeback of Ferrari from Monza onwards, which took away crucial points from Norris. While on the other hand, we have Leclerc, who however never had a dominant Ferrari. Perhaps only at times in 2022 in that season, without reliability issues, he could have really fought for the title. But the regression of the F175 was such that it made any championship dream impossible. Would Verstappen have done better in his place? Maybe yes, or maybe no. We don't know the answer. But here we enter the field of hypotheses. One thing, however, is certain. Despite the missed titles, Leclerc has proven to be one of the most complete drivers in the lot. He is fast, aggressive, very strong in body-to-body, and able to adapt to the most complex situations, as he demonstrated with the perfect tire management in Jeddah. In fact, the real upgrade of the Ferrari 2025 is called Charles Leclerc. But there is also an aspect to consider because Leclerc is often underestimated, especially for his technical ability. Many have labeled him as a simple qualifying talent, not very useful in the development of the single-seater. Well, now it can be said that they were wrong, because after 5 races in 2025, it is clear that Leclerc has been decisive in giving a clear direction to the development of the SF25. From Shanghai onwards, the red car has shown clear signs of growth, and much of the credit is his. He not only drives powerfully, but also comprehends the vehicle, proposes changes, and collaborates with engineers, far from being a driver unable to improve. Leclerc is proving to be the true leader of Ferrari and is the only update that has really worked up to this point in the World Championship. And if there are any doubts, you should also ask Lewis Hamilton, who has always praised Charles for his speed on the track and his ability to develop the car, as well as having the right setup for him. In short, Leclerc is definitely the peak, the point of reference for Ferrari at this moment, also because Hamilton needs to regain the confidence he had in Mercedes, and in the meantime, Leclerc is the only one who can drive the SF25 to the limit. Hamilton has said it several times, I'm not comfortable. The car limits my potential on the track. Leclerc is maximizing the car's performance. He manages to get on the podium, so we shouldn't even be too happy about this. I mean, okay, it's Ferrari's maximum performance, but Ferrari should aim to win races, to win the title. Don't settle for a podium. That was the expectation from the beginning of the season. A podium finish is insufficient. This is a small but certain change that improves the atmosphere and internal environment at Ferrari. Up until 2025, they had only witnessed negative experiences. In fact, a 3rd place is a good result. It depends on who holds it and how. For Leclerc, who has gotten the most out of the S25, it's just an intermediate stop. His talent has masked the problems of a poorly born single-seater, which continues to navigate in turbulent technical waters. The podium in Jeddah was a breath of fresh air, but not a reversal in trend. After 5 races, Ferrari is still looking for a clear direction. Charles' performance is the result of his extraordinary talent and the team's work on the track, but it cannot erase the structural flaws of the project. The Saudi result, as positive as it may be, risks becoming an illusion, because while it's true that Leclerc has carried the team, it's equally true that the SF25 continues to be too fragile and unpredictable. A decisive, deep intervention is necessary without further internal diplomacy or delay. And if someone in the team seems to be chasing personal glory without yet having the qualities and results, Leclerc, on the other hand, has shown that he is the only one capable of giving a technical identity to the car. Charles has been able to impose his own style in balancing the car, showing that no, he and Hamilton do not seek the same things from a machine. In fact, today the 7-time champion seems like a bewildered passenger of the SF25 number 44. Hamilton appeared exhausted at the end of the race, and for a driver of his caliber, it's a worrying sign. Perhaps because he understands that Ferrari is moving in the direction indicated by Leclerc, a road that for now does not suit his driving style. The SF25 only works within a very narrow operating window, and only Charles seems able to exploit it. The comparison with Red Bull is inevitable. Today, Leclerc is for Ferrari what Verstappen has been and continues to be for the Milton Keynes team. The difference is, while Max has a custom-made car, Charles has had to adapt to a project that struggles to keep up with the best. Yet he manages to do it. Hamilton appears resigned, as suggested by his pessimistic statements about the remainder of the season. Pending updates from Imola, it is not clear how much the team has really understood the weak points of the 677 project. The incoming corrections must be radical, not simple patches, and as much as we hope that the new tests on the flexible wing in Spain can downsize McLaren, and it probably will, relying on regulations to get back into the game is a dangerous strategy. In Formula 1, those who live on hope often die of disappointment. It's better to build your own competitiveness day by day, just like Leclerc is trying to do. And it's the same booster who has leaned on the updates that will come from Ferrari in the next races and has taken stock of the current situation of the Maranello team. Ferrari continues to show signs of growth, even though the peak is still far away. After the podium achieved at Clerchet in Jeddah, the second consecutive weekend with more points collected than Red Bull and Mercedes, Frédéric Vasseur spoke clearly. The progress is there, but more work is needed, and new updates are already on the way. And he stated, "In the race we were among the fastest, especially in the first turns, but in qualifying we still lack something." That's where we are paying the price. Consistency is key throughout the weekend, from free practice 1 to Sunday. We know where to improve and are working on it. Charles excellently managed the tires, outpacing Verstappen and Piastri after lap 10. He performed well in the second stint with clean air, but struggled overall. Performance was too inconsistent, lows, and we all need to find more consistency. It's not Charles pushing the team or vice versa. We are all in the same boat. It requires teamwork. We are still paying for the points lost in China due to disqualification. But we need to look ahead. We keep pushing all together. This is what Vasseur declared. He also added about the updates. The SF25 has already received a first package of updates in Bahrain, but the bulk is yet to come. In Miami with the sprint race, there will not be time to work too much. We will bring the updates to Imola. Vasseur correctly points out that Ferrari's weakness lies in qualifications, where it significantly lags behind rivals Red Bull and Mercedes. Currently, McLaren has the best car, surpassing all other teams. Once the qualifications are resolved and both Leclerc and Hamilton qualify further ahead, the race pace is very good and both are able to better express the potential of the car on the track. In fact, Vasseur praised the performance of the Monegasque, highlighting how Leclerc was among the fastest on the track after the 10th lap, even faster than
Verstappen. However,
the French team principal identified Ferrari's main limitation: qualifying performance. Despite being faster in the race, they were 0.4s off pole. Vasseur emphasized the need to improve weekend work, especially on Saturdays. Clean air provides a 0.6s per lap advantage, as seen with Hamilton in China. The SF25 has good race pace when starting ahead in clean air, but struggles with tire balance at the limit. Push a little more and you lose grip, and if you lose a curve, then you also pay in the following ones. Look at Norris in Bahrain, a mistake in turn 1, and you also lose in 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last year, whoever made the pole stayed ahead for the whole weekend. Not now, Verstappen in rainfall at Suzuka, but behind Gasly in Bahrain. Only McLaren manages to remain competitive, even with some mistakes. Vasseur staunchly defends Hamilton. We support him 2000%. I get the disappointment with him 7th and Charles on the podium, but let's also look at the positives. He knows he's a champion and wants the best. He's frustrated, but we're not worried. We just need to help him find the right balance. We're not world champions when things go well, nor disastrous when things go wrong. We need to improve in every area, even if it's just by a few hundredths at a time. That's how you build a solid season. Vasseur confirms that the potential is there, we just need to put it all together, starting with the qualifications. And Vasseur continues on the path of not praising Ferrari too much when they manage to perform well, and not belittling them when they perform poorly. He tries to maintain a very homogeneous environment, one that doesn't change its emotions depending on the performance, but remains focused on the work and the results. This is Vasseur's goal, to not create either positive or negative expectations. And even Leclerc has committed to the path taken by Ferrari. We have embarked on a direction that I like. If we continue like this, our first podium will come, he said before the Jeddah Grand Prix during Thursday's day. And so it was. But the Saudi weekend also highlighted how much Ferrari still lacks to consistently fight for victories. On Saturday, Ferrari was undoubtedly the fourth best team, hindered by insufficient aerodynamic load. But in the race, as already seen in Bahrain, the SF25 lit up. The tire management and the race pace were excellent, with Leclerc delivering a masterful initial stint on medium tires, especially in the final part, extending the stint by many laps compared to the opponents. Vasseur admitted that there is not yet a precise technical explanation for that exceptional mid-race performance, but he clarified what the real limit of Ferrari is today. The difference between qualifying and the race is our problem. We've made a step in pace, but we need to start further ahead. Leclerc's first stint, who also started behind Russell, was a textbook stint, and he chose not to push at the beginning, keeping his distance to avoid dirty air. This approach allowed to preserve the tires, avoid overheating, and prepare a second stint on hard with fresh tires. When Russell made the pit stop, Leclerc found himself in clean air and started to fly. The pace shown at that moment even surprised Ferrari. That extra margin, built lap after lap, was crucial to defend against Norris's final assault. Also thanks to Hamilton's help, who defended his position against Norris at the start of the race. So what was Ferrari's secret in Jeddah? Analyzing the data, it emerges that Leclerc masterfully managed the load in the curve and the accelerator in the first part, then taking full advantage of the straights where the SF25 even reached more than 6.21 miles per hour compared to the competition. A combined effect between a more unloaded aerodynamic setup and more pushed mappings and engine, also thanks to the new power unit mounted on the monogasque. This allowed Ferrari to limit the stress on the tires, reducing slippage and wear. While Leclerc climbed onto the podium, Mercedes plummeted. He had temperature problems, blistering that penalized both Russell and Antonelli, demonstrating how central tire management has become in 2025. Antonelli's performance, faster at the end but much slower at the start of the stint, confirms how thin the margin is between performance and degradation. Ferrari has an efficient car with good top speeds in hand, but it lacks aerodynamic load, especially because it has the setup and the driving and the clerks that mask its limits. But to aim high steadily, something else is needed. It needs more balanced load, a car that's lower to the ground. That doesn't, however, wear out the skid too much to avoid disqualifications. It's capable of improving both the lap time and the race pace. The Jeddah podium is a good start, but more is needed.
To hook up.
To match McLaren and Red Bull, consistent performance is necessary. A significant improvement is required soon. And we already know Ferrari's weak points. It's a car that tends to understeer a lot, which therefore struggled, especially in the first sector of Jeddah. It also lacks traction due to the lack of aerodynamic load, also due to a higher ground clearance, compared to McLaren, for example. From my point of view, Ferrari must continue to improve the SF25 until June, so until the Spain race, after which a season balance is made. And see if it's already worth aiming for 2026, or continue to improve the SF25, also looking at the constructors and drivers standings. The SF25 currently has three main limitations. A difficult balance with an unstable rear, lack of load at the rear, which has already emerged in the tests in Bahrain, and fluctuating performance, especially in slow and medium stretches. But the real Achilles heel remains the qualification, which was also a weak point of the SF24 last year. Unlike the SF23, which ate the tires, but was instead stronger in qualification. On the race pace, the single-seater is extremely sensitive to the height of the ground. With the full tank, the aerodynamic platform works higher, reducing the load. The result is that it's the start of a weak race pace. The performance improves only with an unloaded car. So at the end of a long run, Hamilton is struggling with the rear of the S25, which he is not satisfied with. And he stated, even in Miami, I think I will struggle. The problem is I don't know how long I will continue to suffer. It's really frustrating. Inside Maranello, they have stated that the SF25 is the best car for Leclerc's driving style since the F175 Hamilton needs a compromise, but it's not easy to find because the rear is unstable in fast corners, and braking, there's understeer in the middle of the curve and it's hard to trust the car. As of today, Leclerc remains the only certainty and is proving to be a technical and sporting leader of the team, masking the car's deficiencies with his talent. But to aim for the title or even just to beat McLaren or Red Bull, more is needed. Yes, updates are needed, but also a Ferrari capable of working better on Saturday, not just Sunday. And Leclerc himself has stated, our weak point is still qualifying compared to Red Bull, McLaren and Mercedes. We still lack aerodynamic downforce, which penalizes us on Saturday and compromises part of the weekend. The tire degradation is very good. We are managing it well. It's a significant advantage that is helping us build good races. And Leclerc also added, it's been a long time since I felt so comfortable in the car. I understood something that unlocked me and can make me take a significant leap forward. The Monegasque also added, in Barcelona there will be a key moment of the season. There we will be able to see if the updates work and if the technical regulations will really change the balances. Leclerc is confident about the rest of the season, especially the Barcelona race, which will be the true test after the updates in Imola. Being a very technical track, very demanding on the tires, Barcelona will also give a general key to the season. On the other hand, Hamilton is disappointed and facing a growing crisis. I don't know what's happening. The car is capable of coming in third. Charles has proven it. So, no, it's not the car's fault. The problem is me. I don't know what's happening. I haven't learned anything in the last 3 weeks, and I know I'm slow. And this is a tough mission, that of the 7-time world champion, reflecting a growing state of frustration. Not even the temporary battle with Norris, resolved with the smart use of drag reduction system, is enough to save a Sunday to forget. Let me know in the comments how you see Ferrari for the upcoming races in Miami, Imola, and also in Barcelona. Do you think it makes sense to bring updates to Imola and believe in the future of the SF25? Will he be able to fight for the podium in the next races? How do you see the situation of Leclerc and Hamilton? Tell me your opinion in the comments. I'm curious to read and respond to everyone. As always, I remind you to leave a like, to subscribe, enable notifications to stay updated with new videos, check out other related content from Rastadutto. See you next time.